Hello, everyone, and welcome to this WisdomWorks Live webinar. I'm Prachi Kastwar, the moderator for today, and I'm so glad you could all join us for this important discussion on the gut-brain connection. In this session, we'll be discussing how gut health influences your mental well-being and how small changes in your diet and lifestyle can have a big impact. I'm excited to introduce our speaker, Mrs. Prachi Kastwar, a holistic clinical nutritionist and founder of Positive Pulse Prachi. She's helped countless clients improve their health and lifestyle through her personalized guidance, focusing on food, exercise, sleep, and mental well-being. With her expertise in managing conditions like gut health issues, hormonal imbalances, and autoimmune diseases, she's worked with a lot of clients, from individuals to sport academies to corporates. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Ms. Prachi to get us started. Thank you.
Thank you, Parishi, for an introduction about me. And I'm so happy to have you all today for this webinar. So as Parishi mentioned, I'm going to address this issue, which is how, our gut is related to our brain and vice versa. So you all must have heard about a few sayings, one of which is that, I have a gut feeling or I have butterflies in my stomach. So why do we say that, I can feel butterflies in my stomach? Why do you think we say something like that? Because our gut feels whatever our emotions are. So we can understand that how much the gut and the brain are linked, because any kind of emotions, stress, anxiety, or it could be any kind of happiness or sadness, everything that is going on around us, which we give space in our mind, is going to affect our gut health. Many times we feel that, when we are stressed, our digestive system goes for a toss, or, we'll feel that our stomach is not behaving well. So why do you think this happens? Because they are really connected. So I would like to start by explaining you how scientifically they are connected. This is what we understand as a layman, okay? So I'll explain to you how scientifically it works is that, our brain is made up of hundred billions of neurons. These are the small brain cells in which function together, and they have lots of important things to do, which connect our entire nervous system and the body and its functioning. Okay, similarly, our gut also has these neurons in it. These neurons make up the enteric nervous system. Okay, this enteric nervous system is connected to the central nervous system, which is part of our brain and the spinal cord. So these two systems are constantly interacting with each other. How do they interact? They have a bidirectional highway. This bidirectional highway is the vagus nerve. So this vagus nerve connects our brain to our gut. So anything that goes wrong in our gut or anything that goes right in our gut is going to reflect in our brain, and vice versa. If our brain is having, because it is a bidirectional highway, as I mentioned, okay, and anything which is affecting our brain or our thoughts or our mood, it is going to reflect in our gut. Sometimes we are going to feel very hungry. At times we are going to feel that, I don't feel like eating today. Some people are like that, if they are stressed, they will say they are not hungry. Some of them will overeat when they are stressed. So because these two organs are constantly communicating, and that is the reason we call our gut is the second brain. So please be very mindful of what you are feeding in to both these organs, your brain as well as your gut, because they are connected and they are going to disturb the whole system. Okay, so now I'm going to start with 4 smart vitamins. Yes, 4 smart vitamins, which really impact both these organs. So, any of you who have joined would like to mention any of the vitamins which you think is relevant?
Um, Vitamin C.
Yes, that's right. Anybody else? You can just unmute yourself and answer.
What about B12?
Sorry?
What about B12?
Yes, actually, the B vitamins, the whole B vitamins is one of the very important, they are the prime ones, I would say. Not only B12, but the whole group of Bs, B complex, as we call it.
Could it also
Okay, thank
be
you so much.
could it also be vitamin A?
It is. It is amongst the four smart ones. So we already have the three uh, mentioned. One more is left. Actually, I have picked up Smart 4, but yes, many of them are there. And so I'll just start now. We'll start with the B vitamins. Okay. So when we mention the B vitamins, uh, how do the B vitamins help? B vitamins control the brain health by improving our alertness. Okay, so which is the prime source where the B vitamins can be obtained? Can anybody say which is like, something that we consume on daily basis? There are many sources, but one prime source which we always speak about.
Sorry, source of which vitamin?
B vitamins.
B vitamins. Ideally, fish.
Uh, Yeah, to certain extent, but here we are talking about a more common source, which is mostly part of everybody's, dietary. Like fish, you'll say, if you are saying vegetarians would not be having it.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is the dark leafy green vegetables. Dark leafy greens. Okay, so what comes under the dark leafy greens? We have our spinach, we have our kale, we have our methi. So all of these fall under the dark leafy green vegetables. So they play a big role in, managing our B vitamins. So have you heard of B9? B9 is the folate. Okay, and what is the role of folate? I think many of us would be knowing because when we conceive, folic acid is one important vitamin which is added to our daily consumption. So why is that? Because, folic acid is one thing which is a essential thing for the development of the brain. So folate is the B9. Okay, so B9 is your folate, which is very important. Then we have this B3, the combination of B3, B9, and B12. These are called the maintenance vitamins for the brain. Okay, so they help to maintain the brain health. And lack of any of these vitamins can then reflect on our gut health. Okay, so like one of the viewers mentioned about the B12. So here the B12 comes into picture as well. And can anybody tell me that how and when any of the foods or anything that you can think of which destroys our B vitamins easily? Okay, so I will tell you. See, when we consume too many of sugary foods or sodas, or even, when we have too much of antibiotics or heavy drugs, You people might have seen when doctors prescribe antibiotics to us, they always give a vitamin supplement with it. So why that vitamin supplement is given? Because these antibiotics always wash out the B vitamins from our body. Okay, because they deplete all the vitamins. So we have to support our body with the external supplementation of these vitamins. So, caffeinated drinks, sodas, or sugary drinks and foods, these are the daily consuming things that we will mention. And antibiotics and heavy drugs are the things which we need when our body is unwell or something. So, always supported with the external supplementation so that we can help overcome this loss. Okay. So this is mainly that I want to speak about the B vitamins. And anybody would like to mention other products or other sources of B vitamins that you know of? You can contribute here to the session.
What about dairy products?
Dairy products, yes, to certain extent, but there are dairy products is one topic which is a very separate topic because nowadays dairy is really not that pure form of dairy. They also come with antibiotics and hormones. Most of the dairy has that. So again, it is a there is a thin line where if you are consuming this for your vitamin supply or your calcium or whatever, but you are also consuming the antibiotic and the hormones along with it. So that's why I don't kind of, mention or encourage these kind of things. But yes, there are many other products like our broccoli is there, then nuts and seeds are there, mushrooms are there. These are the things which we include. Walnuts are there. Walnuts are a good source of it. So I have also, as we proceed, we are going to discuss. I have a big list of products and sources also, which I have prepared, and I'll share with you all as well. Okay, so now I'll come to the vitamin C. Okay, so vitamin C is also the immunity vitamin, and also it is so immunity again is related to the gut health, right? If our gut health is good and we have a healthy gut, it is going to reflect to our brain health. So, vitamin C basically, in the fruits, can you tell me which fruit do you think is the best source of vitamin C?
All citrusy fruits actually. Strawberries, oranges.
Mm-hmm.
नहीं नहीं,
Right?
the Indian gooseberry, amla.
Yes.
Yes, that's an excellent source. I totally agree. Thank you for adding that. Okay, and according to me, the best fruit which I recommend for vitamin C is guava. Did you all know that guava is also loaded with vitamin C?
No, not really.
No, yes,
Oranges
yes.
come
It,
first to our mind actually.
Okay, I think we have a
Lime and
viewer
orange.
who's saying that he knows about it. Yeah, so that's very nice. Like vitamins, I will say that guava for me tops the list with, it's a very good fruit. It has other benefits also, as well as it is loaded with vitamin C. And amongst the vegetables, also, I would include bell peppers. Bell peppers is one vegetable which I would like to mention to everybody for vitamin C. Okay, so keep noting these, and I think you are recording also. So basically, when we have a good consumption of vitamin C, we see an improvement in our memory, we see an improvement in our thinking power, and obviously immunity. It is going to reflect on our brain health once we are consuming these things. Okay, now the third vitamin which I want to speak about is vitamin D. So, can anybody say the source of vitamin D? I think there is one prime source.
Sunlight.
Yes, here we go. That's right. So, by being in the nature, that is the best part to. Why do we say that by being in the nature or deep breathing in the nature, it enhances our mood? Because vitamin D is triggered by our skin. When our skin gets exposed to sunlight, it triggers the production of vitamin D. And vitamin D is stored in our liver. So when we come to the liver, so vitamin A also becomes crucial. So, whenever we talk about these foods and vitamins and brain health and gut health, all of these are interconnected. Now, when we are talking about these four smart vitamins, do you think that a lack of one vitamin or I would say a good amount of one vitamin will be sufficient? No, never. It is all interconnected. So, when we talk about vitamin D, which gets stored in the liver, and the liver health is related to vitamin A as well. So here vitamin A also becomes important for our gut health and brain health. Okay, so that is what I was saying, that I am going to talk about smart four vitamins, but there is lot of other connections here. So whenever there is a deficiency of vitamin D, we will see that there is learning disability, the IQ is low, there is poor understanding. Also, you will see depression as well as low bone health. All this is part of vitamin D deficiency. And when we overcome these things, we will obviously, the deficiency, once we overcome, we have this. So that's why we say half an hour daily in the sunlight is very important. So many people feel that, today I have been in the sunlight for the entire day for 3-4 hours, so it covers up my vitamin D for the whole week. It doesn't work like that. Let me tell you, that's a bad news though. But yes, you have to expose yourself to a daily half an hour, sunlight or nature walk or something like that, which is going to, increase your vitamin D levels. So it is very important to keep on doing it on a daily basis. Everything needs daily efforts. One-time efforts don't work. Okay. And nowadays, actually, I would say that, vitamin D maintenance dose is very important. So you all should keep testing your vitamin D levels, and if needed, please take the required dosage as given to you by any of the health professional. Okay, now the fourth and a very important vitamin is called the vitamin E. Okay, so anybody would like to share about vitamin E here?
Um, for good skin and nails, hair.
Yes, that's also a function because vitamin E is actually a crucial vitamin for cell development. So everything is made up of cells. So once we have a good supply of vitamin E in our body, cell development happens and there is a good, you will see good skin health, good hair health. All this is really connected. And also it helps in brain growth because of the same reason, because it helps in cell development. Okay, and the best sources of vitamin E, which I find them the best sources I'll be mentioning. They are the peanuts, almonds, sunflower seeds, and in vegetables, again, we have the spinach. Spinach is one, I think, vegetable which actually rules the whole thing. It has a good impact of all the things. Then pumpkin is also one good source of vitamin E. Okay, now does anybody know about the vitamins being fat soluble or water soluble? Have you heard about something like this?
No, Miss Prachi, could you please provide some more information on this?
Yes, sure. See, like when I'm talking about vitamin E, so vitamin E falls under the category of fat-soluble vitamins. Okay, vitamin D also is a fat-soluble vitamin. So when we are, prescribed a vitamin or a vitamin supplement, we are not told that what are the right combinations with it, which will help the absorption of a particular vitamin. So whenever I prescribe these vitamins in my food plans and give it to my clients, I always tell them that suppose you are taking vitamin D. So vitamin D should always be combined with a fat in your diet. Like what are the good fats you can combine it with? Like ghee you can have coconut oil or anything coconut based you can have, or you can have a food which is cooked in ghee, like a dal made up in ghee, or rice in which you have dal rice in which you have added a spoon of ghee. So after half an hour of your consuming this food, you can have your vitamin D supplement. Also, whenever you are have or an avocado, that is also a good source of fat. So you can combine, you have to make these kind of combinations, which helps the absorption of the vitamin in your body. Okay, so just supplementing your body at any time. Many people just take the supplements whenever they remember because they have just started supplementing themselves without any kind of proper structure and without understanding the vitamin, how it works. So, this is one important thing I wanted to bring about here because, uh, these are the fat soluble vitamins. They basically function as antioxidants in the body. So here the D and the E, they are the antioxidants because why? Because they can cross the blood-brain barrier in your body and which no other vitamin can function. So these vitamins are also the antioxidant. Now, vitamin C is the immunity vitamin. Okay. Vitamin C, why we take lemon just, in water and we drink it because it is a water soluble vitamin. But our D and E are fat soluble vitamins. So they need fat for the absorption. Okay, does it make sense? Is it clear or anything else you want me to explain in this?
No, very clear. Thank
Yes,
you.
Ms. Prachi, I think you explained it really well. But I also received a question in the chat. Someone was asking, is there an optimal time to eat for better digestion or better gut health?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, generally I would say that use vitamin, always have vitamin D or vitamin E after your meal, half an hour after your meal. And I always prefer D's after the lunch and E after the dinner.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so also it depends on your food plan, also how the structure of the food plan is. But if as a general rule, this can be followed. Okay, now I will be speaking. See, if I speak about vitamins, there are two important things also I want to speak along with it. One is the probiotics, and second is the flavonoids. So, has anybody heard about any of these probiotics and the flavonoids?
I think we're all relatively new to that.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. See, probiotics are what are probiotics? Probiotics are the good gut bacteria which are needed to synthesize the B vitamins in our body. So they are the good bacteria, the bacterial flora in our gut. Okay. Now, what happens once the probiotics increase in our gut, the B vitamins increase in our gut. Once the B vitamins increase, these B vitamins are responsible for the neurotransmitters to be synthesized. What are neurotransmitters? These are basically messengers. Messengers which go from our gut to our brain. Okay, they communicate through the gut, and the brain communicate through these messengers. So that is the reason we need to increase the probiotics in our body, so that the end result is the neurotransmitters. The neurotransmitters should increase, okay, in our gut. So I would like to just, have you heard about any of the neurotransmitters like serotonin, GABA, or dopamine?
Yeah, we've briefly heard about these.
Yeah, so these are the three neurotransmitters which are like, there are many other, but these three neurotransmitters are very prime in our body. So, like GABA, what is the role of GABA? GABA is for anti-anxiety. Okay. And then we have dopamine. Dopamine is responsible for movement, for motivation, and it is also for reward and pleasure transmitter. Okay. So these are the things which are triggered once we consume. How we are, it's connected. The probiotic, the good gut bacteria are going to release the B vitamins. The B vitamins are going to help in the synthesis of the neurotransmitters. Okay, then the third one is the serotonin. Serotonin is for mood, memory, as well as the cognitive health. Okay, so this is how, and when I talk about probiotics, it is very important to mention about the prebiotics also. So many times people are very confused between the probiotics and the prebiotics. So what are the prebiotics? Prebiotics are the base, or I would say they are the food for the probiotics. So this is what the probiotics are going to feed on, and they will grow in number. Okay. And what are the sources of the prebiotics? It is the food. How much ever variety we are going to increase in our meals. That's why we say that you should have seasonal vegetables, seasonal fruits, and you should have all the variety of fruits. So many people have diets where every day they will have one kind of vegetable, one kind of dal and rice and roti. They don't want to change, right? They don't want to try the variety which is available to them. So that is when the gut bacteria doesn't grow. Okay, because you're just giving one kind of prebiotic is developing in your gut. So it is not going to multiply. You will not have the variety of bacteria. The flora will not increase, the bacterial flora. Okay, so always.
That's a very interesting topic you've touched upon, Ms. Prachi. So um, we've also heard that eating multiple foods at one time is also not recommended, and that's a new study that has come in, right? So could you tell us more on that? I mean, you mentioned that eating one thing continuously would not result in more in good bacteria and variety of good bacteria multiplying.
Yeah.
But should we then eat multiple items, small portions in each meal, or
See here, what I would like to say is it's not multiple type of foods. It's multiple grains, to be very precise. So we should not consume multiple grains at one go. Why? Because what happens is that, suppose today I think in Indian food habits we really have this culture that we always have dal, roti, and sabzi, and then we take some small portion of rice as well. So here we have got two grains. We have got wheat, we have got rice. Okay. So generally, as nutritionist, I always recommend that one grain at a time. So in lunch, if you are having wheat, have rice in the dinner. Don't have both the grains together. But you must have heard about a rainbow plate. what does a rainbow plate mean? Rainbow plate, here comes the flavonoids also come into picture, which I just mentioned that I'm going to mention about the probiotics and the flavonoids. So flavonoids are the pigments, which are present in the fruits and vegetables like our beetroots, our bell peppers. Then if we go to the fruit category, all our berries, those brightly colored berries, plums, peaches, they all have flavonoids. These flavonoids also are the prebiotic which is needed in our body. So it's never that we discourage. Yes, for fruits, also this kind of rule follows that many people have a fruit bowl, which is like a mixed fruit thing. So grains, as I told you, why we discourage multiple grains at a time, because see, grains are basically more of carbs. So they always create a sugar spike in your body. So we don't want we'll not know that which grain is impacting more of giving you more of sugar spike. So to understand the impact of it, we always take one grain at a time. And also in our fruits, it's always best to have two fruits at a time and not to have more than two fruits at a time. So fruits, this rule follows, grains, this rule follows, but vegetables, you can have a saute vegetable or a mixed bowl of vegetable or a salad, mixed salad you can have. That's a good thing to have in combination together. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So as I was talking about the pro and the prebiotics, so the prebiotic, which is the food for the probiotic, it is actually the fiber content. So this fiber can only be digested by the probiotics. And now you must have heard of many people complaining about, lot of flatulence or gas formation, and they also sometimes have smelly gas or something. So why do you think this happens? This is because when you are consuming this prebiotic, but you don't have enough gut bacteria to digest that fiber. So that fiber stays in the body, it gets fermented in the body, and it is actually creating that rottening effect in the body, which is emitted in the form of gas and flatulence. So, how you will maintain the good gut bacteria? Now, there are sources, probiotic, as we say, that it is the bacteria itself, right? So, there are certain foods like the fermented foods, which have the development of bacteria in them. So, we can consume them directly also. Prebiotics is like we are giving a base for the development of the bacteria, but probiotic is the bacteria itself, the active bacteria. So can anybody name any of the products which have the active bacteria?
You have the yogurt, for example.
Correct. Anything else?
I was also thinking of dairy products or maybe fish.
No.
No, something which is fermented.
Yes.
I was gonna say kimchi or yeah, that's it.
Yeah, kimchi, sauerkraut. And also, our fermented foods like dosas, idlis, where we keep it for fermentation. And also, if you have heard about kanji that we prepare during this time only, in the Indian culture, during the holy time, we set kanjis for preparation. It's like made with either carrots or beetroot. So those kind of foods have the live bacteria in it. Also, our pickles, our homemade pickles. they also happen after the process of fermentation. So these are very good examples of foods we can consume directly for the live bacteria, and then when we consume the prebiotics, they are going to develop and grow more in that prebiotic environment, and it is going to keep our gut healthy. Okay, so till now, any questions? We can take it up right now, or rather than waiting till the end, anything that anybody would like to ask?
If
So
you have
are we
any
going to discuss
questions,
about the macronutrients as well now?
Yes, I'm going to speak a bit about the macronutrients also, micro and macros. Like I'll be covering the top two nutrients basically.
also
But
if you
Okay,
yes,
so
have
yeah.
I may have some questions around that in the sense of what all things to avoid
Okay,
to
sure.
maintain a good gut health.
For sure, we'll take it up that time. And yeah, something else also I heard.
Yeah, also, if any of the viewers have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat as we go through the webinar so that I can read them out, or you can also ask them directly by raising your hand.
Okay, before we get on to the nutrients, I will just mention a few foods like which I have listed out, and you all can keep adding to some foods that you would like to also tell me. You know, these are all related to our gut and the brain as well. So here I have a list where the fermented food tops the list. Okay, fermented foods, then the walnuts are there, then tomatoes are there. Okay, did you all know that tomatoes are really important for our gut-brain health? They actually help in fighting depression. Do you know? Tomatoes. And it should be consumed with the skin. For that same reason, I always say that cherry tomatoes is the best option, because in one tomato you are consuming the entire skin of that cherry tomato, whereas that one big tomato you won't be able to consume the whole tomato. You will just take 2 3 slices of it. So here, cherry tomato in particular are one food item which is, so the active component of cherry tomatoes is the lycopene. Lycopene is the one which helps in fighting depression. And one more thing I would like to mention here, which is again actually a big myth. People think that always most of the things consumed raw is best. So, in tomatoes, the lycopene content gets activated only when we steam it or saute it, when it is subjected to heat. So it is always good to consume tomatoes in the cooked form. So always try to saute it or just give it a steam so that the lycopene gets activated. In that same category where, the cooked form is more healthier than the raw form, there is one more vegetable which comes under this category, which we consume as a salad only. So can anybody take a wild guess here? Give it a try.
I'm not quite sure. Does anyone have any guesses?
Okay, that is the carrot. Carrot is one salad which everybody thinks that it is most healthiest in its raw form. But carrots and tomatoes are best, to be consumed after giving it a saute or a little bit of a steaming, because it activates the component which we need for our best health. Okay, now to move on to our list, I also mentioned while speaking about the GLV, which is the green leafy vegetable, or you can say the dark green leafy vegetables to be particular. Then there is the apple, which comes into play, where the apple has always been told as, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But I will say that an apple a day keeps depression away, because apple has a very good role in keeping away depression. I don't know if you have heard of many people who have this morning sickness when they wake up. So it's always good to consume an apple when you have morning sickness. It's a remedy to morning sickness. You don't need to go to the medications, okay? Then we have our beans. So beans are the ones which have lot of fiber, they have lot of protein and the B vitamins. And these B vitamins are the neurotransmitter. They are needed for the synthesis of our neurotransmitters, which we already spoke about. Okay. Then I have the oats as well. So, does anybody have why oats? So, oats is because, oats, have you heard about the glycemic index of any food? Have you heard about the term glycemic index,
Yeah, I
GI?
think I have. Does that mean how many carbs it contains?
No, the GI is not that. GI is basically, I would say, oats, or if we compare oats to our rice, okay? So what will happen is the release of sugar in our body by oats or by rice. When we compare this, oats will give a steady release of sugars and a steady increase in sugar levels. So it will go for longer time. Rice, in comparison, will it will be faster. So, you will suddenly feel a sugar spike and then a low again.
Okay, so a low glycemic food will not spike your blood pressure
Blood sugar.
or blood sugar levels.
Yeah, not spike your blood sugar level, and it will sustain you for a longer time.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So oats is one of the low GI category of food. Okay, so oats also has lot of fiber in it, dietary fiber in it. And there is also one thing, like I'm not talking about here the instant oats. I am talking about the steel cut oats. They are as hard and they look like rice grains only. And you have to do pressure cooking for those oats to consume them, to cook them. Okay. So these are the oats I'm mentioning about. Then the next thing which tops my list is the mushrooms, okay, which I mentioned during our talk also. So it also regulates our insulin spike, mushrooms. Many people call it as a negative food because it actually lowers down the sugar levels. And it is a good source of prebiotic also, mushroom. Then another product is avocado, which I mentioned. It is also a good fat. It has got healthy fats in it, and also it helps to beat depression. Avocado as well. Okay, now what is your take on dark chocolates? There is a lot of nowadays, talk on the social media. Some people say it's rubbish. Some people say it's good to have. Anybody has any views on dark chocolate? Why or why not? I'm not saying anything right now.
It is said to boost brain function also.
Dark chocolate.
Yes.
So you think that we should have dark chocolate?
Yeah, because it contains flavonols.
Okay. You are very near to what it is, I
I
would
think
say.
dark chocolate is like a better alternative of normal chocolate because it contains less sugar, but it's also equally flavorful.
Okay. So have you heard about raw cacao? Yes. So that is the purest form. So why
So
it
it's
is good
anti-inflammatory. Is that, the reason?
for dark chocolate?
Yeah.
See, dark chocolate basically, you have to read the labels. Now, this is a very important topic which we should cover one other time, some other time, about reading labels. So, a dark chocolate which has been made sweet because to match our palates, taste palates. So, it if it is made loaded with sugar or any or other artificial agents and other coloring agents and everything, then it is not a good dark chocolate to be consumed. It should have a good quantity of unprocessed raw cacao. So you have to read the label and see the percentage that in one serving, how much of raw cacao you are getting. Only that kind of dark chocolate you should consume. That's why we say 75% and above dark chocolate is going to be helpful. So otherwise, we just consume raw cacao. You do dissolve raw cacao in a glass of water and drink it. Now, why it works is because it has a magnesium content. As you were saying, no, are you going to take up the nutrients? So here, magnesium is the one which really works a lot. Magnesium tops the list of the gut and brain health. So I'm going to speak a bit about magnesium also. So that is the reason, and magnesium is the nutrient which actually calms down our brain, calms down our nervous system. After a good workout, or suppose who's an intense sport athlete or a sports player, we always give them high magnesium drink, okay, because it is going to help to calm down the nerves, the muscles, and body will get into the relaxation mode. So dark chocolate has that. That is the reason we have dark chocolate, but it is always best to read the label and consume a good dark chocolate, not any kind of a chocolate which says dark but it is loaded with sugar. Then you are not getting the right benefit. Okay, and then one more food which I would like to add here is the pumpkin seeds. So pumpkin seeds basically actually have the function of synthesis of serotonin, which we just spoke about, for our brain health. So they also should be included in our diet. Okay, now I would come to talk about a little bit about the nutrients. So here in the nutrient category, I would say that the electrolytes as well as the minerals are very important again from our brain health. So we move from vitamins to probiotics, prebiotics, and flavonoids. And now we are coming to our nutrients and electrolytes, minerals and electrolytes to be precise. Okay, so as I said, here magnesium tops the list. So magnesium has two important roles in our body. So it helps to build up the neurotransmitters. Now, I think after reaching here, we already know the neurotransmitters. Can anybody mention the neurotransmitters we spoke about?
So neurotransmitters are the chemicals that help us communicate, helps the gut communicate with the brain. And some examples are serotonin, dopamine, and GABA.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so what they help in these neurotransmitters, they help in calming down, they help to keep us in a happy state. They also help in, the entire well-being, I'll say, right? So magnesium has a role in synthesis of these neurotransmitters, one thing. Then also why magnesium is needed? It is needed to convert and activate vitamin B1. Okay. So that is where we again need our magnesium. So what happens that if the vitamin B1 comes down due to low magnesium content in our body, so what will happen? We will be in a lot of stress. Also, we will, you must have heard of body cramps and all, which we keep getting in our legs or anytime in our back or stomach, abdominal area, we can get cramps. So a low magnesium diet can lead to lot of cramping also in our body. So magnesium here comes as a very important mineral. And in electrolytes, potassium is very important. Can anybody tell me the best source, the best natural source of potassium we can get from which food or drink?
Potatoes?
No, not potatoes.
Banana.
Potatoes to a certain extent. Somebody said banana, right?
Banana. Yeah.
Yes, banana to certain extent, that's correct. But the best source is our good old coconut water. So that's why during active, sport activity or something, we always say that you should have a, coconut water bottle with you, which you keep sipping on. Okay, so uh, it provides potassium in a good quantity. Also, I would like to mention a few things here when we talk about coconut water. Generally, many people, what they do is, suppose somebody who's having a high BP. So, when you have a high blood pressure problem, it is also related to low potassium levels in your body. But when you have coconut water, it is going to supply you the right kind of potassium. But many people, what they make a mistake is, most of us do it actually, not many people, most of us do it. We take the whole coconut shell or the bottle and we consume it at one go, right? So what I will say is that distribute that water in one bottle of water or one shell. You distribute it in the day throughout, like you make it into 4 or 5 portions and you consume it throughout the day. So it is not going to harm your kidney health. In fact, it will improve your kidney health. It will reduce your blood pressure levels and it will give you that proper flushing out of the toxins from the body, and absorption of potassium also will happen, because when we consume in bulk at one go, the absorption is very less. Most of it is excreted out. Okay, so these are few things which actually are needed from a proper professional, where they guide you how and when to have that to give you the best benefit. That was about it. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a bit about two superfoods here. Two superfoods which are very important in maintaining our gut and brain health. Anybody would like to take any guesses here, which can be our two superfoods today, which are going to be talked about here? Any idea?
Almonds?
No.
Possibly foods that contain magnesium.
No, these are very different kind of food, superfoods which I'm going to mention. Okay, let me start them. So one is the passion flower tea. Has anybody heard about this passion flower tea?
Not really.
Yeah, so passion flower tea is as good as a tranquilizer drug. So I get clients from all walks of life. So when these people come to me who are going to be put on those kind of drugs, I always try and delay it, at least from my end, and give them this kind of a tea, the passion flower tree tea, because it is a very good tranquilizer. It has that, calming effect on our brain. So this basically what I tell them is to just boil these flowers in water and strain it and sip that tea warm. And you get them in the form of dried flowers, or also you get them in the form of a powder. Sorry. So these, passion flower, this has a compound which is called as the ox. It is a, little bigger word, oxazepam. Oxazepam is a component which is found in all our tranquilizing drugs, and passion flower has that. So this is a natural treatment to depression or anxiety, or those who have whose like thoughts are all over, to bring it down, to calm it down. This passion flower is a very good thing. And the second superfood which I always add to such plants is ashwagandha. I think ashwagandha, few of us must have heard because it is getting very popular these days. It is mainly found in Asia and Africa, and it is been used since so many years in Ayurveda. It is actually an adaptogen. Adaptogen is something which when goes in your body, it adapts according to the requirement of the body. So ashwagandha is given in treatments of reproductory issues. It is given for the treatment of female fertility issues. It is given for the treatment of male fertility issues. It is also given for the treatment of bone health and strength. It is also given for the treatment of brain health. It is also helpful in maintaining the digestive health. It also regulates sleep. So, the list goes on about ashwagandha. How much ever I tell you is less about it. And do you know where the name comes from, ashwagandha? It's two Hindi words combined together. Can anybody take a guess? Ash,
Ashwa and Gandh.
yes, correct. So it's the smell of the horse. The
Horse.
Yes, it smells like that only. If you have tried ashwagandha, it has that very typical smell as we get from the horses. And also it gives you that power of a horse also. It's so powerful. So these are the two things which the two superfoods which I wanted to mention to you. And also here, I had just made small notes. So I had written something. Has anybody heard about this fruit called locust? It is a bright yellow.
Apricot.
No, that's different. Locust is different. Loquat. You can Google it if anybody wants to. We have, like, in North India and all, it was like very much available. You have to peel off the bright yellow skin, and then inside there is a nice fleshy fruit, and it has seeds also in it. It's small in size. In English, it is also, I think, known as that Japanese plum or something like that. If you Google Japanese plum also, you will get, so it contains lot of these flavonoids, and it is a very good prebiotic for the gut health, which is like very rarely talked about. That's why I have, mentioned those small things which I thought that would be of good this thing to mention here. So how much I have taken a lot of time here, I think, but I think we covered the questions together, is it? Or we still have some questions?
I have received a few questions from the chat.
Yes, so let's take them up now. What do
Yeah,
you say?
yes. Should I read them out? Okay.
Yes,
The first one
yes.
was for someone struggling with brain fog or lack of focus, what vitamins do you suggest they should prioritize? Or
I
foods?
think all the four smart vitamins which we spoke about, first of all, they should get a blood test done where they should check all these vitamins. And if whichever you feel is not falling in the category, they should be supplemented. But I always say that the natural sources are the best sources, even if they are sufficient in your body, they are not deficit. But please have the foods which we just spoke about. Include them in your diets in different ways.
Got it. Thank you. And another great question from the chat was, are there any common foods that people eat daily without realizing that they harm gut health? I think you also mentioned earlier on about sugary foods and processed foods and sodas. So
Yes,
that's the
yes.
answer there.
Yeah, so I would say that in this category, sugar tops the list because we consume sugar in many unknown forms, especially the foods, the packed foods that we buy from the market. We really don't know that. Like I have, you won't believe it, I have so many of my clients who proudly come and tell me, I don't consume any biscuits or anything, only I have that healthy Weetabix. And you really don't know that Weetabix is such a, like, I'm sorry to mention a brand over here, but this kind of advertising has given people a very false hope and feeling, where they think that they're consuming a very healthy thing. It is loaded with fiber, it has got less sugar or whatever. But it is nothing like that. It is so processed. It has sugar content, so you are consuming that sugar. So, sugar is one culprit which is there, which we keep on taking in different forms. So, I really emphasize the reading of labels when you are consuming anything or you are buying anything and straight away opening a packet and eating. So, that is one thing. Then, also here, anything which has got flour. So, the refined flour. So please be careful about these two foods which actually come in hidden forms.
Yeah, thank you so much. If there's any other questions, please put them in the chat.
Or they can ask directly also
Yeah,
now.
or you can ask directly.
So, thank you so much, Ms. Prachi. This was very, very really helped us identify some easy to have superfoods and the right way to eat them. You also mentioned about ashwagandha.
Yeah.
So, what is the right way to consume ashwagandha?
Yeah, a very good question, I would say. See, ashwagandha is available in two forms. One is in the tablet form, and another one is in the powder form. So, tablet form, you can directly have it. And always, as I told you, the effects of ashwagandha, you must have understood that it is to be taken at bedtime only, okay? Before you, after dinner, or before going to bed, it should be consumed. Also, ashwagandha, the people who are consuming dairy and who don't have any issues with the dairy, they can also have the powder in the milk. But again, at the night time is the best time to consume ashwagandha. And people who are off dairy but want to consume it in the form of powder. So, one more thing, the difference between powder and a tablet is that when we take it in the form of powder, the absorption is certainly more than anything which is taken in the form of a tablet. So you can also take it in warm water if you are dairy free. Then you have it in warm water, but again before bedtime.
Got it. Thank you so much.
And like I have missed out one thing which I want to cover it up now. Has anybody heard about nutritional yeast?
Yes, it's usually used for breads and uh,
No, no, never. They don't use the nutritional yeast in the breads. Nutritional yeast is, you can get, if you will check on Amazon or wherever on these online portals, you will find it. So, nutritional yeast is one source of the B vitamins to increase the B vitamins in our food, especially for vegetarians. So what happens? You can, it has a little cheesy kind of a flavor. They don't help to ferment the breads and all. That's the normal yeast. This nutritional yeast is a separate category. So what you can do is you can mix it in your soups, you can sprinkle it over the salads. It won't spoil the taste of the salads. It will blend with the taste of a salad, and you can consume it to increase your gut bacteria as well as the B vitamin synthesis. So this is another superfood which I wanted to actually, I thought I'll give two superfoods, but I feel nutritional yeast is also of a big importance here.
Thank you.
And so the final question from my side is, are there any specific habits that have made the biggest difference to your clients to improve their well-being?
Yeah, so Parishi, I actually wanted to end this topic because I took a lot of time. I just noticed the time, so I cut short over there. There are, see, I want to say here that yes, food plays 80% of what we do, because you know how many meals and how many times in a day we are eating. But if we take exercising or breathing we are doing throughout the day. So breathing is also very important. And exercising is very limited. If we will do, it will be an hour a day for a, if we talk on general basis. Okay. So it will be an hour a day. So you can understand how much food is important. But yes, there are certain related things also which need to be managed very well. So here I would say that in this category, deep breathing is very important. Deep breathing, and in that diaphragmatic breathing. So there is a proper way to do. You can Google diaphragmatic breathing and learn from there. Also chanting or humming. So in chanting, I generally teach my clients to do Om chanting. And humming, there is this humming bee exercise, humming bee breath, or we call it the Brahmri, which is like the humming bee sound we make. Hmm, this kind of a sound. This is also very important, in managing this. Also, being in the nature is very important when we do this. And, many people think that being in the nature doesn't count at all. But yes, it has a big role to play. Then, other activities which I always give them is always, you should be happy, laughing around. This helps us, to yeah, produce our, neurotransmitters. This is very important. Then also cold water showering. Cold water showering, or, dipping your face in ice cold water. This is also very important. You can do that. And there are two, three other things like, uh, massaging behind your ears. This also helps in vagus nerve stimulation, basically. The vagus nerve, which I mentioned, is the bidirectional highway, right? So that stimulates the vagus nerve. So these are the few things. And the top thing which comes in my food plans is meditation. And I teach them all online when I give them the food plans. So meditation is very important tool to manage all of this, to manage our thoughts, manage our this breath work, manage our health, manage our gut, manage our digestion. Everything can be regulated by this powerful tool, meditation.
Thank you for answering that. So I think we've come to the end of today's webinar. Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you, Mrs. Prachi, for being here with us today and sharing your expertise and also taking the time to answer everyone's questions. All the information that you gave us today was very valuable, so thank you. If you'd like to attend more webinars like this, please make sure to sign up for our upcoming sessions, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Parishi, for conducting this at this small age. Your awareness and, the way you have been conducting it, it's amazing. And I really congratulate you for what you are doing. It's a very noble cause that you are doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me over here and giving me this platform. I am
Thank you.
privileged. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.